What's up, Hyperdrivers? Welcome back to the channel. Today I received the Denuo Novo $550 Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet. All right, this is a helmet you can buy currently on Denuo Novo's website. I already own the Black Series Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet. This one originally went for $131. And today I'm putting them side by side to see which is the right one for me, or the right one for you if you're watching. And let me tell you, the results surprised me. If this is your first time here on the Hyperdrive, here we talk about Star Wars every single week, especially Star Wars collecting. So if you're a Star Wars fan like I am, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can jump to light speed every week with us right here on the Hyperdrive. Before I get started though, I want to give a big shout out to my friend Joseph Azar, who sent me this helmet so that I could take a look at it and be able to provide this comparison for you. Now, this is not a helmet that he's gonna be keeping in his collection, so if by the end of this video you find that this is the helmet for you and you wanna pick this up, shoot me an email. I'll leave that in the description below, and I'll let you know what he wants for it, and you guys can make a deal if that's what you guys wanna do. Also, if you wanna join a merry band of scoundrels and other Star Wars fanatics like us, check out the Hyperdrive Star Wars group over on Facebook. It is a great group of guys who like to collect Star Wars, who are Star Wars fans. You can find ideas for how to display your collection and even collectibles that you may not even know about. So check them out. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to get to it. All right, let's take a look at the helmets. First up in this corner is the Hasbro Black Series Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet. All right, this is a helmet that came out a few years ago. It originally ran $130, $131.99 actually. All right, it is a prop replica toy, more of a toy. Could be a cosplay item for you if you want to go walk around the con with this. And it makes for a really nice display piece. It's got a nice weight to it. It's nicely painted up, as you guys can see. But what's really cool about this one is that it features electronics and effects. So it's got sound effects and lighting. And then as soon as I get to that, there we go. So I don't know if you guys can pick up the sound. Probably a little bit too quiet. All right, pretty neat. Definitely, if you guys like having effects and stuff, it's an awesome feature. And then we have the Nunu. This is the Denuo Novo Red 5 Luke Skywalker helmet that is currently available on their website. It's $550. It's also made out of ABS plastic, similar to the way that the Black Series is, but this one here was created using 3D scans of the original prop and measurements, so it's more accurate in that sense. Now, as far as things that it comes with, there are no electronic features that are added to it. This one's not considered to be a toy. This is more of a cosplay item or a collectible piece so that you can wear it to cons or you can take and have it on your display. Now, the helmet comes with some extra padding. So you have these leather paddings right here, which look really good. I think these are meant for more of a display, and I'll get more into that in a little bit. But you also get an extra set of padding for bigger heads like me. And this allows for a little more cushion, and you can take these out and swap them out. So that is this one here. All right, so now that we have them side by side, let's talk about the build, the size, and the quality of what you're gonna get with both of these helmets, all right? So they look very similar. There are some differences. Obviously the paint is one of them. We're gonna get to that. But this one here, the Black Series, is slightly taller. Everywhere else in measurements is about the same, but it's slightly taller. This one's 11.5 inches tall. This one's 11.25 inches tall. They're both about 9.5 inches wide and both 11 inches deep. Now, to get your head into this, both of them are 7.5 inches wide here so that you can get your head into the hole. And this one here has the same thing. Now, you can see that there are some differences in the way that they're built here, where this one here is round and then kind of like a flatter bottom, whereas this one here has more of an overall circular effect going on, which makes it easier to get your head into this one than into the Denuo Novo. Also, other things about this helmet are that the padding on the inside, or the interior lighting, is different. The interior lining on the Hasbro series has more of a textured plastic going on the inside here, and that's to hide the speakers that are inside of it. Whereas the Denuo Novo version is more of a soft felt on the inside, and Velcro attaches to it. Now, the padding that you get with the Denuo Novo is a leather pad. These donuts, I'm going to call them, are a leather padding. It does feel like real leather. They're stiff and they're very, let me get it out of here so I can show you. It's a very hard material, okay? it's soft, but it doesn't really give that much. So when I tried to get my head in here, it kind of squeezes and compresses against my head, which makes it difficult to fit my head in with this padding. With the other padding, it was much easier. Whereas the one from Black Series is more of a soft material. It gives a lot, makes it a lot easier to get your head in place. And I'll leave that out here for a second. The other thing about the two is the way the chin strap works. So Denuo Novo has it written that the chin strap is adjustable, and it's adjustable by these buckles that are here on the inside, okay? And you can get in on them, you can move them in either direction, but the strap itself, this Velcro strap that's attached to it, it's very, very strong, and it doesn't really give that much. When you have the padding in, if you were to use these, I'm not really sure about the other, it makes it difficult to get this buckle in, you know, once you have your head in, and it also makes it hard to get your head into this with this strap. It kind of like, you know, attaches to you, or it kind of like pulls back on you a lot, like it's almost choking when you try to get it in. So that's kind of difficult. Whereas with the Black Series, the Black Series strap is a little more forgiving. It's not as stiff as that. And then there's an adjustment here on the inside where you can actually extend the length of this if you got a longer head. Now, as far as the weight goes, the Denuo Novo feels a lot lighter than the Black Series. And that may be because it has added speakers or it's maybe just thicker material. But the Black Series definitely feels a little more weightier and a little more quality when you actually have it in your hands. This very much feels like a plastic helmet, all right? Also, other things that I noticed is that like here in the back mohawk, it's a very soft plastic. You can squeeze this, and you can see how it compresses. All right, whereas with the Black Series helmet, it's not so much. This is much harder, and it doesn't really give when I squeeze on it. So that makes it feel a lot more quality, right? Other things as far as the build goes is like the mohawk. The sculpt on this is supposed to be more accurate, obviously, right? Because this is where they got the 3D scans from. So, and when I compare it to the look of Luke Skywalker from the movie, it does look a lot more accurate. The mohawk on this one here is slightly more shallow. It's taller on this one here, which gives it the look that this is skinnier when they're actually the same width, with kind of an optical illusion. Also, these lines make that optical illusion. But this is actually a little bit taller by like like a quarter of an inch is what I remember measuring. About a quarter of an inch taller. The other thing too is this front part of the mohawk is also a little bit taller due to the height. So you can see that right there. It's got more of an angle up. This one seems to be wider, okay? Other things that look very different are the visor. The visor on the Black Series helmet is higher up, where this one seems to be a little bit lower, and you can see more of the angles in the glass. You don't catch that as much on this one here. It looks a little bit different. Like you can see that it's got this line right here. Catch that better. There you go. So you can see this line here, okay? And you don't really see that line on this glass. The other thing here on the bottom is the visor is more angular on the Black Series than it is on the Denuo Novo. The Novo is a little bit more rounder, okay? Your comm mic. So the comm mic on the Black Series, even though I like it better, it has this metal wire that can move up and down like that. There's a pivot point right here that allows it to move up and down, and then you have this wire that allows it to hold in place, all right, which is really nice. It keeps it kind of stiff the way it is. In the movie, it was more like this. So it's basically a wire that it is posable, but there's no pivot point on the inside of the helmet. Try to see if I turn it that way. There you go. So there's no pivot point on the inside of the helmet that would allow you to move it up and down like that. It kind of just is the wire itself that does it. The other thing too that I mentioned a little bit ago is that because on the Denuo Novo it's more of like a C shape. You can see that it has kind of like a flat back here, and then it curves up on the side here. The mohawk kind of pushes in on the back of the neck a little bit. So that's how that's designed. Whereas on the Black Series helmet, it's rounder. It fits more heads, but then you can see that the back part of the mohawk is not digging in as far. Also, this is what houses the batteries back here. All right, so that's that. Now, the paint is really where I feel that when I first looked at it, that this Denuo Novo helmet just blows this Black Series helmet out of the water. The paint and the decal placement. I was kind of disappointed to find out that there was so much decals applied on this Denuo Novo helmet because it's $550 price point. You know, I would expect there to be more actual painted on features than stickers. And the Rebel logos, for example, are stickers. You can kind of see the line around that. You know, it's probably not as noticeable there, but you definitely see it in person. Same thing for the lines on the side, the pinstriping and everything. The pinstriping over here, you know, these are all stickers, which is interesting choice. I didn't think that was going to be the case. You know, this area here, this entire thing is a big sticker. Okay. Now Black Series does that exact same thing, but the Black Series is less apparent. You know, I can barely tell that is a sticker. You know, so whatever they did to hide it, they did it much better than the Denuo Novo did. Okay, but the paint on the Denuo Novo, the Denuo Novo is so much more dirty and grimy that it is beautiful. I just love the way that looks. It is so dirty in comparison, and I like how these lines they look like they're painted on. Like you can see how this line here, you know, isn't completely uniform, and it gets skinnier as it gets to the back. You know, whereas on this one, it's one thick line going around the side, and you can see that it's much more clean. All these lines here are very clean. I mean, they tried to make it dirty, but it's so much softer. It looks almost like shadow on the Black Series versus the Denuo Novo. The Denuo Novo looks more like grime and dirt and buildup, and I love that. That is so nice, the way that comes off. Okay, really dig that. There are two things about the paint on this that kind of annoy me. All right, so there's, first of all, the one thing I love about the Black Series helmet is that it's matted. You can see that it's all matted all the way around, which I feel like if you got a dirty helmet after being in war and all that stuff, it's gonna look matte. It's not gonna look shiny. This Mohawk, where you can see most of the gloss, it almost looks like they got a piece of plexiglass on top of the grime. You know, it's very shiny. It reflects a lot, which is interesting. You know, and you can see the same thing like on the sides there. You know, where all that grime is, I wouldn't expect there to be that much of a gloss, you know, on the sides. Almost like they put a gloss paint on top of it, or like a clear coat, and it just was the wrong clear. It doesn't really make sense to me. All these dirty areas should be dull. You know, look how this helmet reflects light. You really don't see the reflection as much, you know, whereas on this one you can catch all of the lights that are hitting it. So that's an interesting choice. The other thing that I was really bummed about is that this side here, the sides of the helmet have these little red points. All right, this is the Black Series. You can see that they got the two little red points here. When you're handling the helmet or putting it on, you know, you're going to touch these areas when you're putting the helmet on, or, you know, if you're handling it from here, you're going to touch these with your thumb. All right, with the Denuo Novo, this is a sticker, and a very shiny sticker. You see how glossy that is? But this is a very big sticker, and there's these depressed areas here, these circles, that they just put the sticker right over. So when my finger touched these, it cracked the sticker and it went right into the hole. Now, since it's all, you know, beat up and everything, it's not really that noticeable, but over here you can see that the sticker went all the way through, and now I got this white hole where it used to be red, and it's supposed to look red, you know, like that. These are painted, you know. This is painted, which is interesting because this is a much cheaper Hasbro helmet. So yeah, that to me is kind of a big bummer. I really would have expected and would have liked that at this price point that we would have got more of a painted helmet than one that had a bunch of stickers on it. So my final thoughts about the two of these, now that I have them side by side and I can actually get a visual comparison as to which one is better for me. While I love the Denuo Novo look of the helmet, you know, if I stand away from it, I think it's a beautiful looking helmet. It's got really cool weathering on it, which I like. I don't like the way that the paint and the stickers were applied. And I don't like the weight of this helmet. I feel like at a $550 price point, this should feel a little more weightier, and I feel like we should actually have a fully painted helmet, not just a bunch of stickers being applied to it everywhere. I don't know the full extent as to what went into building these helmets. Like, I don't know if they actually used stickers. I'd like to think that they painted them when they were doing the movie. It's possible this is how they were made. But at least from my knowledge, if I'm spending this kind of money, I would like to see a more painted helmet versus a bunch of stickers being applied. That's my thought on it anyway. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. And until next time, may the force be with you.